We have been following breaking news. Tensions simmering on the University of Chicago campus this afternoon. University police in riot gear after pro-Palestinian protesters clashed with pro-Israeli supporters. Things have calmed down since, but the situation is far from over. After 5 days, the university says it is preparing to intervene to remove encampments from the quad. The president of the university says they've caused disruptions and violations of university policies. Joining us now from Washington, D.C. is CBS News Congressional Correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, these campus protests continue to grow. President Biden spoke out yesterday defending free speech, but also saying there has to be a limit to the protest. How are these protests playing on the campaign trail?
Yeah, the primary concern is not politics, but oh boy, are there political ramifications to all of this. Obviously, this is something that's going to be a component of the presidential race, but I'm also looking at Congress, where they seem to have transformed the schedule and recalibrated to have hearings, announcements, and visits about the protests, about the unrest on college campuses. The House Education Committee, which is run by Republicans, has just called the University of Michigan, Yale's, and UCLA's presidents to testify about what's going on campus, and the Republicans in the House have said in so many words they think university presidents should be doing more to combat or corral the protests on their campuses. This is, if nothing else, a potential wedge issue, a cudgel Republicans can use as they campaign for Congress, and certainly Donald Trump seems inclined to use as he runs against President Biden.
Moving on to the trial against Donald Trump, Hope Hicks, one of the former president's closest aides, testified today. What does her testimony have to do with this case?
Yeah, the testimony means this trial week ended with a bang. It was compelling testimony based on those in the room, and the jury was engaged and alert to all of it. Among the things Hope Hicks testified to was the damage that was done by that Access Hollywood tape release near Election Day in 2016. That's a component of what the prosecutors are arguing, that this scheme, they allege, this scheme to falsify business records, to pay hush money to impact the campaign, was in part because they were concerned about further damage of the Stormy Daniels allegations after the release of the Access Hollywood tape. Hope Hicks painted a picture under questioning today of the damage and the concern, the transcendent concern, after the release of that infamous tape.
Meantime, Scott, lawmakers are looking to reauthorize the FAA. Travelers are going to want to keep a close eye on this. What is exactly at stake for Chicago?
I mean, that sounds wonky, doesn't it? You got to pay attention to an FAA bill, but there really are some impactful things in here. First of all, local Senator Dick Durbin was meeting with air traffic controllers as they're considering this bill, saying this will help hire more air traffic controllers, which of course have a regional hub in Chicago. But there's also this language in the bill, Jim, which would put into law something President Biden implemented a few weeks ago, to make it the law, not just a rule, that passengers who have their flights canceled, be it at O'Hare, Midway, or elsewhere, get a refund, not just benefits towards a future flight or some other remuneration, but actually get their money back. Making that the letter of the law is an impactful thing. As of now, that's part of the bill the Senate continues to consider next week.
Passengers would certainly welcome all of that. Scott MacFarlane, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.